Record-breaking opening win for England at a World Cup. Sterling still inside his own half. Then it's headed forward into USA territory, and they knock the ball along the back line and then play it forward up towards Pulisic near the centre circle, who takes it back into his own half and gives it back once again to Walker Zimmerman, to his left, to Tim Ream, who it seemed was probably out of the picture for this World Cup squad, but things changed, and Ream plays it forwards down the left-hand side for Anthony Robinson, his clubmate, to take on, but the touch was heavy and it's out of play for a throw into England.
Yeah, it's interesting down his left-hand side. He got a real battle. Saka, who's more offensive-minded. Robinson also at left-back, offensive-minded, loves to get forward. Pulisic tends to drift inside and he'll bomb on. That creates a space for him to go on. So Kieran Trippier will have his hands full, not only initially with Pulisic, but then with Robinson coming on as well.
Shaw plays it to Sterling over on the far side, and then Sterling goes back into his own half, and it's all the way back to goalkeeper Pickford again. 47th cap tonight for Pickford. So if England continue throughout the tournament, there's every chance that he, like the man just in front of him now, Harry Maguire, will be reaching that half-century at the tournament, but that's further down the line. Harry Maguire is now the sixth man in this squad to reach 50 caps for England. As Harry Kane, one of them, winning his 77th tonight, is bundled over. Didn't get on the score sheet in the first match, as you will know, but that means that he's still one goal away from becoming England's record scorer in tournament finals, World Cup, European Championship combined, with currently 10, level with Gary Lineker. England with the ball at the back with John Stones. Now back to Maguire. This is a much more patient approach from England tonight. There's a greater respect being shown to the opposition. They really went it around in the early stages, but this is much more caging as Maguire in possession plays it to his right to Stones, with Haji Wright closing him down. Stones puts his foot on the ball, just pops it into Bellingham, who's come deep to get it. And then here is Maguire again, who goes for the long pass, which is out of play, misplaced by Maguire. Shaw actually set off on the run, and Maguire played it behind him and out for a throw. Error from Maguire. Yeah,
interesting tactically that you're looking at England looking to slow it down. They know how quick and how impressive the United States are on the counter-attack, on the press. But the USA themselves had changed it. They were a 4-3-3 directly up against the three centre-halves of Wales. Now they've just slipped into a 4-4-2 when they don't have possession. So England biding their time at the back, waiting for the moment, but being matched up at the same time.
United States have the ball, and it's played out towards the left-hand side, where Anthony Robinson, double E for Anthony, turns and gives it back to the halfway line, and it's blocked out of play by Mason Mount for a throw-in which actually came off the American, and that's been disputed by Tyler Adams. And I think he had a case there as well, but it's given as a throw to England.
I think he's always got something to say, Tyler Adams, captain of the USA.
Yes, as we heard this morning, with Rick Edwards, very entertaining. Adams and Aronson on the bench tonight, the other Leeds United midfielder. Kane takes it forward, but there is Tim Ream at the back to head it back to his goalkeeper. Tim Ream, now 35 years old, so it's very much built, isn't it, this American side as one of young guns, but there is experience in there as well.
Well, I'm not sure he would have started. Injuries permitting him being called up into the squad and playing, and it's interesting that they do leave him so exposed at the back when they go forward, when they win the ball, because they go forward in numbers. They got 5 or 6 forward.
Yeah, Miles Robinson was the big miss at the back, the captain of Atlanta United, who tore his Achilles in May, and it was after that Tim Ream came back into the picture. Before this, he hadn't won a cap for over a year. He has Robinson on the left-hand side for the United States, but he runs it out of play. A heavy touch, and it's a throw into England, level with the edge of their own box. England 0, United States 0. 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and as I hope you've picked up by now, all of the matches, every single one, there will be coverage when they're being played on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. So wherever you are, whatever time, you can take the World Cup with you on BBC Sounds. England playing the ball out to Luke Shaw on the left-hand side, but they check back into their own half, and Sterling goes all the way back to Maguire again.
When England have a throw-in, every single United States player is in that half of the pitch, and I mean left to right rather than front and forward to back. So the switch is on.
Maguire turning it Over to the far side, Mason Mount has dropped out there. Shaw is there as well. He plays it in field. Shaw having to battle for it back, but he does win it back. And now England go from left over here to right. Declan Rice with the initial pass, and then forward from Trippier, and Robinson back in a defensive position is there to head that out of play. England 0, United States 0. It did feel different yesterday when I was in the media conference, the official FIFA media conference before the match, as England take the throw, and here's Jude Bellingham with it on the right-hand side, and I'm just wondering whether he might have hurt himself because it just bounced away from him. He miscontrolled it, and the challenge came in on him from Haji Wright, but they're okay. They are both back on their feet. Just the way he reacted there, Bellingham, just was a little worry, wasn't it?
It was a clumsy touch, and the ball got stuck away from him.
Oh, nice ball from Trippier to Bellingham, and Bellingham now running at the defence and giving it to Saka, and then back across to Kane, whose shot takes a deflection off Zimmerman and wide of the foot of the post, and that looked for all the world as though Harry Kane was about to score his first goal of this World Cup. Corner.
That is how you get through a press. Fast, one-touch football, brilliant attacking football down the right-hand side. It was in exactly the same spot that he gave away the penalty against Wales. A brilliant block, last ditch. Harry Kane in front of goal. You put your house on him to put it away. Great block, super block.
And so it is a corner from the right-hand side. Need to give Trippier credit for that. We'll come back to that. But this is the first set piece England have got. Remember all the talk since Monday about defending and attacking set pieces. Trippier plays it in. It is Stones who got his head to it, and the ball bounces to the far side. It's kept in by Maguire, and Maguire now into the penalty area, and still Maguire. He's losing it, and eventually it is cleared away out of the penalty area. Harry Maguire, as he made his way into the penalty area, it was a case of, is he going to lose balance? Is he going to fall over? No, is he going to get a shot? And in the end, changing the ball from foot to foot. It wasn't exactly Cristiano Ronaldo, but it ended up with a shot of Mason Mount. And it is a goal kick. It was over the top of the crossbar by a distance, and the referee is just coming across to say to Harry Kane that he needs to be outside of the penalty area.
I was just about to say it was Neymar-esque. It was brilliant feat initially. He was never in fully control over it.
Now that would be fair to say, Rob. He was never fully in control.
There was a bit of jeopardy in the situation.
Mr. Maguire, were you ever fully in control of the ball? I have to confess I was not.
He was in, though.
Yes, yeah. So England 0, United States 0. And suddenly England have upped it there in the last, 3 or 4 minutes?
Well, they've been biding the time at the back and just trying to find a way, and you see the set moves that they have. When the ball comes out to Trippier, Saka moves in off the line, and it's been met, and they're just teeing it up for the right opportunity. That was the right opportunity, and they got it down to a T.
So England with the ball deep inside their own half again. Stones playing it across to Maguire. So it's back to as you were just before that flurry from England. But it was a terrific little pass from Kieran Trippier that suddenly, it's like flicking a switch from that pass from Trippier that started the attack that led to the shot that was deflected right.
The difficulty with this press from USA is when you do get it wrong, that you are so open, because it just doesn't take much to get it wrong. Half a step, half a yard, a curved run in the wrong direction, just these fine details. You get them wrong, the quality of the opposition will find you out.
England with it still on the far side in the central third of the field, and low ball played in from the left flank by Sterling. Kane tried to play with the outside of his boot to Saka, who set up that opportunity for Harry Kane with his ball from the right hand side. It's played forward on the halfway line by Trippier, bounces away. Bellingham just takes charge in front of Bukayo Saka. Saka bounced off his teammate there. Bellingham was looking to drive it on, having opened his account for England the other evening.
Looking now at America with the ball, all of a sudden just looking to get a breather and giving it away as well.
Yeah, it's come back to them. Sterling immediately plays it to the left hand side. Mount gets it under control, an awkward bouncing ball, sort of trademark style of his as he takes it down in his stride. Bellingham now to the right hand side. Trippier still 0-0 if you've just joined us on 5 Live for the final match of today, the 4th commentary out of the 4. Out to the left hand side for England, Shaw Shaw with Mount there. Back it comes to Rice. England now dominating possession. And now they're passing the ball from left to right inside the USA half. Stones to Bellingham, and now to Trippier on the right-hand side. Saka's got space in the box, plays it across with a deflection. Defenders in there. McKennie it was coming back. He was able to head it away in front of Harry Kane, and USA cleared.
Yeah, another really important block, and that time it's Tyler Adams just stepping out at the wrong time.
This time Shaw on the left-hand side. Shaw, feels like England are inching themselves further and further forward. Now with the ball just forward of the centre circle. Trippier lifts it again for Saka. That's another good ball from the Newcastle United man to Saka of Arsenal, the Premier League leaders. Trippier then plays it into the box. It takes a deflection, but Turner should come and pick that up. So Matt Turner, one of Bukayo Saka's teammates, of course, but second choice at Arsenal, first choice for the United States, and first choice for Arsenal is sitting on the bench for England.
The irony of goalkeeping and the real quality that England have in the goalkeeping department now, but grateful for the breather there. USA, just a moment, looking, and we started off last game down the left-hand side, was opening up Iran. This time down the right, the combinations, they're working.
England 0, USA 0 in this match. But if England are able to win it, then they would confirm their place in the next round of this World Cup, and probably as group winners because of that qualification criteria I was telling you about, but it would not be confirmed just yet. But still 0-0. Rice couldn't get a touch on that. It bounces away to Ware on the right-hand side, son of the great George. Ball bounces back to Harry Maguire, and he passes it forward to Harry Kane. And now Saka near the centre circle, back to Bellingham. Bellingham to the left-hand side, and Shaw is there and just plays it at close quarters to Declan Rice, and England will start again. England absolutely dominating the possession. It's only down on our screen as 58%. It feels like at least 10% more than that. Saka to Shaw, and then into the penalty area to Sterling. Sterling then back to Luke Shaw. The two of them just outside the left corner of the penalty area. Right-footed ball into the penalty area, but straight through to goalkeeper Turner. All in orange, who's able to scoop it up and underarm it out. And Anthony Robinson is able to bring it forward for the USA and give it to the left-hand side. And now it is Pulisic of Chelsea. Pulisic beginning to cut in from the left and uses his right foot to find McKennie with the red, white and blue stripe on his hair, and in comes the cross, and the header is wide from 10 yards out. There's a defender with him, and he steered it wide of the near post by 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, thrives on crosses right up front for the USA. There was an opportunity there for Pulisic to swing it in when it was 1v1 with Maguire, and he had a yard of space at the far post, and that was the opportunity. By the time the ball got cycled out to the right-hand side, England were better set. The ball was short of the near post. A really difficult header to purchase the angle, to get any power. Chance really missed there for America.
Producer Gary's just found another source that suggests that England's possession is 65.2%.
Sounds accurate.
Yeah, it sounds more like it. So that's 65.2. The one which is presumably FIFA approved says 58%, which, as I always say with these things, Rob, it depends on the human who's putting that information in there.
Well,
but sometimes people think, well, it's written down, it must be right.
A small detail, but it's the possession control.
Possession control. That's a good point, Rob. Yeah, if I'd actually read it properly, I would have spotted that. What does that mean?
There's a contested possession area as well. So we're up to 87% overall, so my math says 13% contested. Right.
So when Harry Maguire had possession but was not in control, that wouldn't count, would it, for that one?
Some might argue when Harry Maguire has it in control, full stop.
Spiky.
Not me.
England 0, USA 0. And tonight as well, winning his 50th cap tonight. Here's Pickford passing it out from the back to Stones. 17 minutes on the clock. Big chance for Harry Kane, but excellent defending actually from Zimmerman, Walker Zimmerman. He could only be playing for the United States, couldn't he? Here's Stones, again out to Maguire over there in the orange boots, who turns and gives it back to Pickford again. So Jordan Pickford, you could tell he was really frustrated to have conceded 2 goals. In fact, England were. I've spoken to Gareth Southgate a couple of times since the match, and also heard him in his conference. Every time he spoke, Gareth Southgate talked about the conceding of those 2 goals. I think the ideal scenario tonight for England, obviously, would be to win the game. I think you would absolutely love a clean sheet. The ball's played back to Stones again. And Stones, Rice makes himself available on the other side of Haji Wright. And that's a poor touch from Trippier. Tried to open his body, received the pass from Bellingham, who actually missed it, and it just skinned off his shin, out of play for a throw-in to the USA, 10 yards inside the England half. Anthony Robinson down there, Jedi as they call him, is going to take this throw, just inching forward, and then it's headed infield by Pulisic, but into the body of Maguire, who's able to control and play it up onto the chest of Harry Kane, who takes that down and waits for the challenge to come in from Tyler Adams, but Kane is strong. And now to the right-hand side, Saka back to Bellingham with a shimmy. His challenge strong and hard and good as well, and the USA have got it back. They've dispossessed Jude Bellingham, and Pulisic then finds the pass infield to Yunus Musa, who it was who won the ball back from Bellingham. That's a marker, and now it's been taken forward down the right-hand side, but it breaks down on the edge of the England penalty area. However, Musa is there, the teenager, and he'll feel good. He's not really been in the game until now, but Pulisic now just outside the penalty area. Nice turn on the right-hand side by Weah, out to the right. Here's the cross into the England 6-yard box from Dest, but Pickford was able to smartly make ground to his right, backpedaling as well, and caught it.
Yeah, good moments for America, and 2 moments there for Serginho Dest, but really, really poor to end it off. One was the initial ball in that got cut out, and it was tried to be a cutback to no one in particular, and then the cross was even worse. It was just a floating cross to the far post that Jordan Pickford will be pleased to get a touch with the ball and a gather, but lighter moments, better moments, exciting moments for America, just that quality letting them down.
England 0, USA 0, 5 Live and BBC Sounds live from Qatar, although as I say, really we're in Al Khor tonight, and England playing with Maguire into the centre circle to Bellingham, who's just overrun that, just bounced away from him, so Pulisic receives it back in the centre circle, right-footed ball over the top. Maguire will allow that to bounce through to Pickford again, who's come out and safely holds onto the bouncing ball. 20 minutes played and it's still goalless. Here's Saka on the right, but his pass is intercepted by Ream, but then Saka is able to get there, and England have it back again inside their own half, just in front of where Greg Berhalter is standing. Berhalter, bareheaded, with his grey t-shirt on. Rice, and now back to Stones. The drum, you can hear the rhythm. There's someone dressed as a Yankee soldier, I noticed, right in the front row of the US section, the main US section. He's got a big Civil War style drum as well with him, and that I assume is what you can hear. England with Maguire then goes back to Stones, and Stones uses Declan Rice, who just moves to the right and passes it to Trippier. Trippier takes a touch, and then England go back to Rice again. 0-0. James Maddison is here, by the way, but has not yet started training with England. But I got the impression from Gareth Southgate that there might be news on that after this game, maybe in the next couple of days, that Maddison might be able to join England training. Back it comes into central defence. Kyle Walker and Calvin Phillips on the bench again. England naming an unchanged side tonight, if you haven't heard, incidentally, for the first time since the World Cup semi-final of 4.5 years ago. Here's Mount on the right flank. Mount plays it infield, but in comes Tyler Adams to put it out of play, and Kieran Trippier will take this. Just a lovely night again, temperature-wise here, even though it was sultry outside, it just feels right for football inside with the air conditioning.
Yeah, really good atmosphere, and it just feels, just watching the game and the players passing the ball and looking at the state of the pitch in the centre circle, it's lush, it looks great. It also seems, judging by how the players are passing the ball, really, really hard and slightly difficult to control. You've seen a lot of players mistouch, misplaced passes, not in terms of they've lost it and it's a horrendous pass or anything like that. It just seems a little bit harder to control and a little bit faster than they used to.
Bellingham playing it to Trippier on the right-hand side. Lovely change of feet to take it away from Robinson, but then Musa again in with a challenge. Impressive again. Big challenge on Bellingham, now big challenge on Trippier, but England played out to the left-hand side. Sterling's got that down nicely in the full-back position, and he's running at Dest, and he's into the penalty area, and it bounces right across the box, but is cleared away by Ream. Comes out to Declan Rice, though. Good to see that from Sterling, having a go, running at the defender.
Well, the switch was on, you said before, the switch is on, and that was a fantastic ball out to him and a wonderful touch to set him off.
England with it in the centre circle. Stones goes for a long pass, looking for Saka. He bumps into Robinson, but it is the Arsenal man who I think will struggle to keep it in. Yes, he tried to put his foot on the ball, but then slipped over. Maybe on that hard surface you're talking about. Took him off the field and the ball's out for a throw.
Yeah, just a heavy touch, and it's just skipped away from him, and he just can't catch it up. It skids as well. Another thing I noticed on is there's barely any shadows of the players. It is brilliant, literally brilliant from every angle here.
It is. They talk about the looks, don't they? The looks number tells you how bright it is. There's one stat we don't have. It is the United States, though, so you would expect it to be stat heavy tonight. England 0, USA 0, and Dest playing the ball back to goalkeeper Turner. Dest, who is on loan at AC Milan, Barcelona man, was making great strides, but he's one of the youngsters, 22 years old, and Pulisic is claiming that he was pulled back there by Trippier, wanted the free kick. Referee allows it to go. McKennie now taking it on towards the edge of the England penalty area, forced out wide by Rice. Here's Weah now angles it back. Tyler Adams is there. Adams to his right to Dest, and now McKennie is there as well, pulls the ball onto his right foot. This is in the England left back position. Sterling is back defending, helping out Shaw, but it comes in to Musa on the edge of the box. He takes it on, gives it to Dest on the right-hand side. Dest works it back. Weah is there on the right. Weah's ball in! And in the middle, McKennie had ghosted into the box, and on the right foot, that was a great chance. 8 yards out, he looked to whip it in, and he whipped it over the top.
That's a brilliant wee-work move for a brilliant chance, and McKennie completely marks at the far post. Saka's no idea of where he is, and I think he just comes around a couple of bodies and skips up in front of him. That hard surface that we're talking about, catching him out there because it didn't have the control that it needed. But England couldn't get the pressure out wide, couldn't block the cross. It was well worked by America, good possession, well executed up until the finish.
Yeah, they'll feel better about it after that, the United States. That was really promising from them. That was like some of the stuff they played in the first half against Wales as the ball's out of play. I thought that might have been a foul for the challenge on Robinson by Saka, but it's not given us a free kick, it's given us a throw to England.
No, it was good composure from America, and that's what we haven't seen yet, that bit of composure on the ball. There's real moments of energy when they break and when they break through the line, but that showed control, composure, and a picking of the right ball.
England 0, United States 0. 5 Live at the World Cup here in Qatar, and Dest taking the ball down in his right back position, turning it away and winning a throw-in off Luke Shaw. United States haven't been in the greatest form in terms of results coming into the tournament, and then of course an opening draw, so that means they've won just one of their last 6 internationals, but England have won one of their last 7. There's a good win though.
Evenly matched.
Yeah. Ball bouncing in the centre circle. Might have been a little push there. There was. Well spotted by the referee, who's from Venezuela, incidentally. And it is a free kick to the United States. Good decision. It's a push by Trippier. It's a free kick to the USA. Yeah, his name, by the way, is Jesus Valenzuela from Venezuela.
Easy to remember. It was a good decision, but it broke then. And Robinson felt like the ball through to right in the centre-forward position. He was on the shoulder of John Stones. He felt like he was away, so maybe a fraction fortunate for England that advantage wasn't played.
England 0, USA 0. And on the subject of referees, you might have been wondering, like I was, Michael Oliver has now been given his first game, and he will referee Japan-Costa Rica on Sunday. So the first match for the Michael Oliver, Simon Bennett, Stuart Burt team, Japan-Costa Rica. USA with it on the right-hand side, carrying the ball into England territory. McKennie, who had that really glorious opportunity a few moments ago, plays it square. Pulisic uses Robinson on the left-hand side, pushing forward, as they like him to do in this team. McKennie, back to Robinson again, couple of touches, foot to foot, works it back to Musa. and he's going to have a go right footed. It's deflected down into the ground, but it whipped through, and it sort of rose up like a jet taking off, but straight at Pickford, who was able to hold the ball into his chest.
Yeah, it's good from Declan Rice, getting out fast, getting the block, not full block, but took the sting out of it. It's a spinning ball, a fast bounce, but comfortably dealt with.
High foot from Trippier. The ball was bouncing up, but Musa came across and had a look and deflected it out of play. Musa's really caught my eye. 19 years old, 20 later this month.
Yeah, all three in the centre midfield. What they're really good at is that they play with their heads up and they look for passes, but at the same time, if they wait, if England back off or hold off, they drive.
Nice little piece about Yunus Musa on the BBC Sport website at the moment. Ball played in to Mount inside the penalty area, but Dest put in the challenge and it bounces through to Turner. Yes, have a look for that on the football pages of the BBC Sport website. Our colleague Alex Howell went to Valencia, his club, to speak to him. Former captain of the Arsenal youth teams, was at the Arsenal Academy, could have played for England. Tyler Adams, Yunus Musa, but could have played for Ghana, could have played for Italy. Should mention as well, of course, Anthony Robinson, born in Milton Keynes, the United States left back. England dropping onto the back foot because USA are in possession. Almost half an hour played now. England 0, USA 0. Both teams with one really good chance.
Looking at the USA coming into the game now, looking a lot more confident on the ball, stroking it around, biding the time, much like England were at the opening section of the game. And so you'd have to say, very evenly balanced at the moment.
A flick from Pulisic, and then Musa is sent tumbling as the challenge came in. It's a combination of Bellingham and Stones, and Musa, as I say, went sort of cartwheeling away across the surface of the pitch, and he was just caught by Stones, who put his foot in on the ball. Free kick.
Yeah, a fraction late, but he also knew that he was caught out of position because he was pressing into the area in front of him, into the area of the centre back. It's a long way back for him then. He's not going to get all the way back in.
Well, I think we can say, Rob, England are in a proper World Cup match today, after the extenuating circumstances. But I mean, Iran, with everything that was going on, they were the ideal opponents. Now, looking back in hindsight, knowing what we do now, the way that the match developed, the way the players were, they were clearly affected. And certainly, having seen them play against Wales today, when it seemed as though things had really lifted off their shoulders. But for England, the perfect opening opponents. But this is the real thing. Yeah,
and what you would say is that America maybe have learnt the lesson from the first game, having spent all that energy in the first half.
And now we've got Adams and Mount tangling on the halfway line. It was a bouncing ball between the two of them. It was flicked up into the body of McKennie, and then in the end it's given us an England.
Del área, Musa paró, toca afuera para Pulisic. Si termina en gol, te digo, está buenísimo. Aquí está, le pegó otro travesaño. Era un golazo, Era un golazo por el remate y por la jugada previa, Juan Pablo. Pegó en el travesaño, lo de Pulisic. Ay, qué buena chance para Estados Unidos.
Musa otra vez en apoyo y después todo Pulisic, capaz de inventarse esta jugada. Zurdazo le pasaba Robinson, pero él sale sobre su izquierda, con Saka y con Trippier pendiente de él, y todavía tiembla ese travesaño.
Qué zurdazo que metió.
Pero lo bien que movía Estados Unidos otra vez de derecha a izquierda, y Musa siempre llega en apoyo. Es un socio para la recuperación, para la creación. Estupendo partido del 6.
Estaba buscando la pelota Sterling. Falta. Uy, tiro libre que tiene Inglaterra. Ojo que se toma atrás, Dolorido Harry Kane, me parece. Ay, mirá. Mirá, Juan, acá en el salto con Zimmerman.
Sí, lo mueve antes de saltar, cae mal después. Kane. Es un poco lejos para el remate al arco. Tiene a Trippier que le pega muy bien. O sea, podría bajar David a patear, pero
Es lejos, ¿no?
Trippier tiene muchos goles. Ahora, parece lejos, sí. Muy lejos. Vamos a ver dónde se ubican Stones y sobre todo Maguire.
De aquella hilera de Rusia. ¿Te acordás, no?
Sí.
A un trabajo ahora más escalonado, al menos lo que vimos frente a Irán en el 6-2.
Creo que están en lados opuestos.
Sí, uno de un lado y uno del otro, ¿no? Mientras tanto hay una reunión aquí entre cuatro a ver cómo hacemos el... Bueno, esto es algo preparado, ¿no? Claramente.
Sí.
Tapando el tiro,
Están
se
fuera
corre
del área.
uno. Allá va colgadita la pelota al área de Trippier, la bajaba Maguire. Termina sacando Dest, que no escuchó el grito de Turner, porque si la dejaba el arquero se la quedaba. Terminó sacando Wright. Y aquí está Luke Shaw. Avanzando Inglaterra desde el fondo con Mount. Otra vez la pelota para Trippier. Tenemos 34 minutos. Estamos por 10 Sports con Juan Pablo Varsky. Mañana Juan Pablo, Argentina frente a México.
A las 10 de la noche.
Qué partido.
Hora de aquí.
Qué partido. Estaremos desde una hora antes, por supuesto, con toda la previa. 10 de la noche de Doha. Arranca el partido, 6 horas menos en Chile, Uruguay, Argentina, 8 horas menos en Perú, Colombia y Ecuador. Hablando de Ecuador, empató y tiene 2 resultados frente a Senegal. Si no pierde, se mete, se clasifica a los octavos de final. Trae la pelota Stones y cruza contra el primero o el segundo en caso de lograrlo, ¿no? De este grupo,
Sí,
recordemos. Para atrás Trippier. La pelota otra vez será para Maguire. Con calma sale Inglaterra con Luke Shaw. De uno del Manchester para otro y otra vez atrás. Y otra vez Maguire.
No lo pueden usar a Rice.
Bellingham tocando cortito para Rice. Bueno, a ver, ahora se viene Luke Shaw, duplica por afuera Mount. Ya se vino a jugar un rato adentro Sterling. Tiene la pelota Mason Mount, va al centro, ahí estaba Bellingham para sacar Zimmerman. No desaparece el peligro, le quedó la pelota a Sterling, gira Sterling, toca para Luke Shaw. Todo pasa, todo transcurre en el área de Estados Unidos. Viene hacia atrás, lindo centro, llama Kane, pero es del arquero, es de Turner. Rápido saca Turner, esto busca Estados Unidos, ¿no? Contra y rapidito para que vaya Pulisic y cruza Stones. Me gusta el partido, está lindo,
Sí. Sí, reapareció Inglaterra otra vez con Bellingham pisando el área. Pero más allá de esta aproximación, Inglaterra controla la pelota y Estados Unidos controla el partido. Porque hace 15, 20 minutos se juega más como quiere el seleccionado de Greg Berhalter. Es un muy lindo encuentro más allá del 0-0. Muchas cosas para analizar tácticamente.
Avanzando Zimmerman, tocando para Musa. Levanta Musa, gana, saca. Es falta, lo tomaba Mount, caía Timothy Weah. Bueno, se viene McKennie. A ver, Estados Unidos, la conducción de McKennie atrás para Adams. Ahí estaba el del Leeds United. Tocando otra vez la pelota para Weah por el centro del campo. Anda, abre sobre la izquierda. Jugando para Musa, Robinson. Le pegó en la mano a Pulisic. Le pegó en la mano la pelotita a Pulisic. Sin querer la paró, le pegó en la mano. Y entonces hay tiro libre defensivo para Inglaterra. Inglaterra 0, Estados Unidos 0. Le va a pegar a esta pelota Stones. Mañana también, por supuesto, Polonia frente a Arabia Saudita. Y los partidos del grupo D, sí, así día a día. Y después llegará más adelante la tercera fecha con los partidos en simultáneo. Para definir los clasificados, si algo no se ha definido ya. La pelota de cabeza y la respuesta de Maguire. Otra vez saca Maguire. Fuerte para arriba, la termina pegando. Bajaba el balón McKennie. Va Adams, rompió perfecto el capitán, pero Luis Mount pega en él, es para Estados Unidos. JP lateral por la derecha para el equipo de Berhalter.
Adams tiene un técnico estadounidense en Leeds, Jesse Marsh, que reemplazó a Marcelo Bielsa en la temporada pasada. Leeds consiguió permanecer en primera y fue confirmado, en realidad ya había firmado un contrato largo por las dudas.
Buenísimo lo de McKennie.
Sí.
En el chaleco del fotógrafo fue y se secó las manos para el lateral. Se ríe el buen hombre. Bueno, el lateral va a caer en el área, y atento con esto. Va la pelota para Wright, terminó sacando Stone, sigue viva, no se fue. La persigue Wright, aguanta. Y ahí está Wright con la pelota, todo en el área, vale, claro que vale. Sigue enganchando Wright, sacó Stones. Afuera y corner, tiro de esquina, corner derecho. Será para Estados Unidos, bien Wright, no
Muy
se
bien.
puso nervioso en el área.
Buen partido. En ataque tuvo ese cabezazo. Ya hemos destacado su valiosa tarea defensiva. Y ahora el que arma el trencito es Estados Unidos, con mucha gente cerca.
Alza la mano derecha Pulisic, ya marcó la jugada. Ahí está el centro, no podía Zimmerman. Sacaba la pelota Maguire. De ver si puede buscar contra Sterling. Cometen infracciones, tiro libre. Será tiro libre para el seleccionado inglés. Y nos cuenta, claro, aquí en 10 Sports, Juan Pablo Barsky, este parcial empate entre Inglaterra y Estados Unidos, 0-0.
Los primeros 15 minutos de Inglaterra, mejores, sin un dominio neto, tuvieron gran protagonismo de Bellingham. Y después apareció menos, obviamente a Inglaterra le costó cada vez más armar juego. Ausente Mount. Y Estados Unidos lo corta acá en zona de gestación. El trabajo de Musa y de Adams es excelente también. Musa se está comiendo la cancha.
De brazo, va partidazo en realidad.
Sí. Toca y se mueve, toca y se mueve.
Ahí se viene Musa con la pelota tocando justamente para Weah. Linda bola de McKennie. Es muy buena para Estados Unidos. Segundo paro y Pulisic. Aquí está el centro. Se pasó Pulisic. No fue bueno el centro. Tres opciones andaban por el área. Perdió la pelota Robinson. Tocaba Saka. Allí sale Rice. Nace la contra inglesa. Está muy bien el partido. Va la pelota rumbo a Mount. Picó Saka. Ahí la tiene Saka por la izquierda. Los gritos pasó Luke Shaw. Trae la pelota Saka. Toca una estacionante para Bellingham. Bueno, no fue bueno el pase. Recupera la pelota Estados Unidos con Weah. Pelea Bellingham. Se le fue a Weah. Bueno, es para decir que se le ha ido a Weah. Lateral para Estados Unidos. Pegó finalmente en Bellingham. Dice el árbitro venezolano Jesús Valenzuela. A instancias de Tulio Moreno. El asistente número 2. Hoy con cuerpo arbitral sudamericano. Al menos el árbitro y asistentes. El cuarto, Yoshimi Yamashita de Japón. McKennie. Tira muy buen taco a Weah. Mirá qué linda Badís. Atención que se viene por la derecha. Agarrate allá va Sorcinio. Ahí está, le pegó. Cerca. Terminó rebotando la pelota y se va a perder contra un costado. Amagó. Tiene perfil para darle con la derecha, con la izquierda. Buscó el zurdazo. Cerca Juan Pablo, Estados Unidos.
Y otra vez en el armado interviene Weah. Como bien decía Gustavo, Serginho va jugando con su perfil ambidiestro y termina rematando con la zurda. La tiene menos, que la usa mejor. Es un muy buen primer tiempo. Excelente media hora de Estados Unidos.
Le pegará esta pelota Pulisic. Llegó Zimmerman, está Rin también. Ahí va el córner de Pulisic. Saca la pelota parado en el borde del área chica y de cabeza Maguire.
Creo que una opción contra Inglaterra es tirar los centros al vértice del área chica. Porque Maguire, si la bola va pasada o al punto del penal, la saca todas. Va libre e impone su juego aéreo. Buscar que alguien la peine en el vértice del área chica o si querés también tocarla, mover la pelota, a ver si se desarma el sistema de marcas entre zonal e individual de Inglaterra y encontrar al cabeceador lejos de Maguire, porque si la pelota pasa cerca del 6 la va a sacar.
Otra vez Musa, control y pase rapidito para Pulisic. Weah. Bueno, a jugarse viene Wright. Está muy bien Estados Unidos. Él está manejando el partido. Tiene la pelota otra vez Weah. Toca hacia atrás. Aquí está Serginho Dez. Lo disfrutamos por 10 Sports. Viene el centro de cabezazo de Pulisic. Que cerca. Otra vez muy cerca Estados Unidos. Ahora de cabeza. Lo tuvo Pulisic. Balón afuera. Puede pasar. Saque de arco para Inglaterra.
Y estaba Musa terminándole con el hombro Pulisic. Llegaba Musa. Estaba Pulisic. Y otra vez Estados Unidos, cuando tiene 3 o 4 potenciales cabeceadores, tira el centro. Diferente es cuando la jugada viene así en movimiento que con...
For the game, former United States international, played in the World Cup against Rob back in 2010. He came up and spoke to us, which I very much enjoyed at halftime in the previous match. as Sterling then plays it to Saka, but that breaks down for England. Given away though, played away. Trippier back to Bellingham. Be a good time for England to score this after being under pressure. Shaw with a cross, but Turner's going to be able to catch that quite comfortably. Even though Saka was arriving, Kane wasn't too far away, and he overarms it out. And we've seen the American confidence grow as the half has continued. And Stuart Holden, when he sat down and was getting ready to talk to us, he said to me, "Right, here we go. I'm going to be a Yankee Doodle dandy today." And he was exactly that. He lived up to it, didn't he?
Played to the character, played to the role, yeah.
Yes, it was Bob Hope-like almost, I thought. Danny Kaye, maybe. Here is Mount, who plays it to the left-hand side. Now back to Declan Rice, who uses John Stones. Gareth Southgate, again with that the dark suit and the cream polo neck on underneath it, watching on. Saka in front of him, passes it forward to Bellingham, and Bellingham whips it into the back post where Dest was able to set himself and head it away, a glance away, but he's given it to Shaw, and now Sterling and Shaw. Oh, Shaw's done superbly well, pulls it back, Saka at the near post, left foot lifts it high over the top, surrounded by Americans in blue shirts.
Now, brilliant from the two flanks, brilliant initially from Jude Bellingham with the cross. Harry Kane just didn't read it. He didn't think that Jude Bellingham would be able to put such a good ball in. Then Luke Shaw driving in, was just behind Saka. He couldn't get any control on the shot, high and wide. But again, England picking their moments, picking the time, creating the chances just when they show that bit of composure.
Yesterday in that big FIFA conference, there were questions to Gareth Southgate from the New Yorker, the Washington Post, Goal USA, Soccer Wire, and certainly the chap from Soccer Wire, I think, was looking for Gareth Southgate maybe to see if he would diss the American game. But as you can imagine, Gareth Southgate saw that coming from a mile off, and his response was, he said, "I'm not sure that England have ever beaten the United States in a major tournament. Have they?" And he said, "I can tell you they haven't." Sterling through to the edge of the box, shot from Mount, good save. Turner down to his right, that was hit with real power from Mason Mount. Lovely combination on the edge of the box, but just too close to the keeper, who was able to make a good stop.
Now, great strike, great save, and a lovely one-touch pass from Sterling. Probably a foot inside the post that gives Turner the chance to get down. It's too close to him, and he can get down, he can cut his legs, which makes it that bit quicker. But because it's closer, it allows him to cut his legs and drop down quicker. He doesn't have to put the power into his right-hand side.
Good save though, artistic from Turner. Corner from the left for England, so it's going to be an in-swinger. Here it comes into the 6-yard box, but it's an easy take for Turner again, who's had a good first half. You wanted to sort of, well, you'll know, Rob, with your goalkeeping hat on. There's the half-time whistle, England 0,